Hi everybody. Today you can use these very simple 360 cameras. This one I purchased about a year and a half ago. It cost me under $60, and then when you add some of the stands it costs a little more. But what you're going to notice is that there are two areas that take pictures, and then later they get assembled. What I'm going to do is show you how this could become part of a STEM project with one of my favorite areas, sewage treatment. So this was where I studied my work for my master's, and today it would be a very interesting project for students and teachers to work in. First of all, the basic technology you need is not that difficult. There are even apps out now that can show you how to do this with your cell phone. I'll be sharing with you links to this website I put together with just some information about the camera that I got. So I think you're going to find that this is pretty helpful. And what you want to do, though, is also be mindful of where you set up the camera. The STEM project that I would be leveraging is a citizen science project where students would visit a sewage treatment plant. And collaboratively, the students would work with me to think about where they would position a camera, because that's going to be a piece of what they're going to do. And here are some examples that I had simply from working with my own family some time back, and I would use those to illustrate some of how you can get 360 camera output and then put it into a regular YouTube. You can also use Google Cardboard or similar viewers to see these, but I'll just show you some right now of what I did as an example of how you might want to talk with students about how and where they would put a camera in a sewage treatment plant. Here you see a conversation that I was having with my family, and there's my youngest grandson. He wasn't paying too much attention. And you'll see we were talking about what we were going to do for the day. Now I'm simply clicking and dragging and scrolling around to see everybody in the scene. So the question becomes, where do you place the camera? This shows an example of another setting that we taped that summer where people were out playing basketball and some people were playing over at the gym. But you want to notice, here's me taking the camera angle itself. I have to hold it up there. So that's a thing you want to talk with your students and find out how they're going to set up the camera. Now, given that the camera is just a tool to facilitate what's happening, I went to this government website and they have a lot of very good instructional materials. But what you want the students to get thinking through with you is, once they make this field trip, they are going to be developing a 360 camera approach on several of the processes that go on in a sewage treatment plant. And they're going to then be sharing this with others. It is a lot of work to get this assembled, and a field trip to a sewage treatment plant is wonderful, but you're going to see that, for example, if you were in this machine room in a large plant, where would you put the camera? So students will all have a component that they're working on, either individually or possibly with a team, and they are going to be part of thinking through how this tool, in this particular case the 360 camera, is going to help them develop a project that later they can share out with other schools. Now, using the ISTE standard 1.A for students, creating empowered learners, the students are going to articulate and set personal learning goals and develop strategies, leveraging technologies to help achieve them, and they're going to reflect on the learning process itself and how to improve outcomes in the future. Now, this tool could transform my work and the work I do with colleagues, because part of my work, I have an application website where I keep work that's been done by me and by other students that they might want to share. As you can see across the top, we're starting to categorize these as people create ideas that they want to share with others. We bring them into this website. So what I would do would be to take the 360 camera work and share it here. But I would also want the students in my class, the K-12 students, develop their own website. Now here's an example of a website created a couple of years back with the older Google websites by several geology teachers who were in earth science, and they wanted students across New York State to be able to do a collaborative project where they would go and visit local landforms and share them. So the sewage treatment project would have a similar outcome where the students would create something that could then be shared out with other schools. And my idea would be that this eventually would be something that might be taken up by the National Science Teacher Association. The National Science Teacher Association has been behind the move to really get STEM products together, and now we are enhancing STEM by bringing the A for art. So there would be a lot of ways that students could start creating the kind of introductory information. The instructors, like myself, would put together the standards and maybe some tests or assessments and other resources that could be used by other teachers that might want to use this in the future. And NSTA does have ways where students and teachers can actually post work that they've done in professional development venues. So that would be something down the road that could be done with students and with the teacher, and ultimately it could be shared with other schools. So this is one way that I might get others engaged in something as simple as a 360 camera and use it to prompt students discovering the role that technologies can play and how they can bring this into this project, but ultimately bring this into their own future. Using immersive technologies are becoming very important, and this is one of the immersions that you can have. The nice thing is you can have it with or without the headset, and so it's quite available to different folks. So thank you.